Kids need to be bored to be creative.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's true.
It
Like
is.
I had the best time as a kid when I was bored and I had to figure out something to do. Like, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be drugs or anything. Just kicking anything. There is a period in there where you are an absolute asshole because you're withdrawing from that thing that you're addicted to.
We're becoming drones, and the free thinkers and the problem solvers and the people that can critically think are going to be few and far between and frustrated because they're surrounded by a bunch of people who can't do those things.
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
Jay, you sent me an article and I thought, oh, this is interesting. And also, ladies and gentlemen, very rarely does my sister do any producing. So the fact that she actually did a little bit of work to help with the show.
I'm on vacation, ladies and gentlemen. I have some time.
Look, and I'm grateful for it. Just this little topic took a little bit of weight off of my shoulders. Okay, so this is a Buzzfeed article. It's 18 teachers sharing things all parents should know. It's by Jay. Can you tell me what this person's name is?
All right, Ajani Bazil-Dutis. It looks like.
Yep, close enough. All right, so this article compiles candid and sometimes harsh insights from teachers directed at parents of their students. The teachers respond to the BuzzFeed survey, sharing the most important hard truths about children, parenting, and modern education environment. Their responses highlight the common clashes between parents and teachers regarding responsibility, student behavior, and the realities of growing up in today's world. The core messages include the idea that parents' actions and attitudes can sometimes hinder rather than help their children, that children are not always victims and sometimes instigate or contribute to problems, and that parents must play a role of authority figures, not friends, to foster maturity and success in their kids. The recurring theme throughout this article is the call for parents to set firmer boundaries, partner with educators, and help children develop resilience and accountability. Now, we'll get into some of these themes throughout the article, but I was, you know me, I always got a story to tell. One of the things that was talked about over and over and over again in this article by teachers was that, stop letting these electronic devices raise your kids. Take them out of their hands because it's dampening their creativity. Kids need to be bored to be creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true. Like I had the best time as a kid when I was bored and I had to figure out something to do.
Yes.
That's when I had the coolest adventures.
I taught myself how to make bow and arrows because we didn't have anything else to do. So
now it can sometimes lead to dangerous behavior. Don't let your kids just make their own bow and arrows. But
hey, look,
okay.
Yeah. I think God watches out for kids for the most part.
Sure.
Because kids.
I know I was dumb.
Yeah, dumb as hell. To be specific. But anyway, so I'm at brunch with our mother and our brother yesterday. And I'm seeing this kid is in a stroller. So 3, maybe 4. That's a stretch. I'm going to say 2 to 3 years old on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And the parents switch out the iPhones because the battery is getting ready to die. So what they do is they keep running the show. And then they take one iPhone out of the kid's hands and place it like it's seamless transition. And I was telling Mom, I was like, kids are going to be way smarter in technology because here they are learning to master technology at a young age. And Mom said, yep, and underdeveloped personalities too. And I said, yeah, there's a
trade-off.
Yeah, there's a trade-off.
Yeah. And you have the parents who are like, I can't take it away from them. They'll flip out in public. Well, that's because they're addicted to it. They're going to have to go through a period of detox. Like that's what addiction is. They're addicted to it. So there's going to be a period where they're going, I don't know if anybody's ever kicked anything. Literally anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be drugs or anything. Just kicking anything. There is a period in there where you are an absolute asshole because you're withdrawing from that thing that you're addicted to. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest taking them out to dinner at a nice restaurant if they're in that withdrawal period where you're taking or cutting back from screen time. But y'all need to start thinking about cutting back from screen time because these kids can't focus on nothing else.
Also, put a little fear in your kid's heart, because the reason why we never really flipped out is for that fear of repercussions if we did. And that's another thing. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to the point. That's another thing that the teachers were saying is you need to set boundaries and have firmer authority. Yeah. Stop being the child's friend. Well, I don't want to do this because they'll get mad. So they need to learn rejection and no. And that's another thing that the teachers were saying throughout this article. They need to learn no, because life is filled with no.
Yeah. You get no's all the time. We were talking about, I just wrapped up my internship. I applied to easily 50 or 60. And I heard a majority, 98% no. Though the yes I got was for the right role, so it worked out. But you're going to hear no. And they have to be able to, one, emotionally regulate, two, not make that no somehow representative of their personal value, right? Because just because you don't get this one thing doesn't mean that somehow you're not good enough as a person, right? So they don't make those connections, but they got to be able to handle rejection. Because, a large part of life, like you said, is rejection. And when you got the kids that can't handle rejection as children, when they grow up, they're the ones that's following you all around the club because they got you one drink. And then when you're like, hey, seriously, stop, they can't emotionally regulate. And then you're now in a dangerous situation because nobody ever taught this person no.
Yeah. So that's what a lot of these teachers are saying. One of these quotes, to piggyback off of what you're saying, is you're your child's biggest problem. You will not and cannot be there to save them from the real world. You cannot pick up a phone and scream at their employer because their child showed up late or doesn't have skills necessary for the job. You will be supporting your child the rest of your life because you need to be able to read efficiently to have a job. You'll be supporting your child the rest of your life because they do not know how to problem solve or critically think for themselves. You will be supporting your child the rest of your life because your child never learned how to work with others because it was always someone else's fault. You will be supporting your child the rest of your life and it will be your fault. And that's from a 26-year-old teacher that teaches 6th grade in St. Louis, Missouri. And this teacher is absolutely right, because we're seeing it now in adults, right? That don't have critical thinking skills, that can't think for themselves, that don't have problem solving. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are having kids. And if they don't have it, how are their kids going to develop?
How are they going to pass it on? Yeah.
So we're becoming drones.
Yeah.
We're becoming drones, and the free thinkers and the problem solvers and the people that can critically think are going to be few and far between and frustrated because they're surrounded by a bunch of people who can't do those things.
They're already becoming slightly heretical, right? Like I remember, look, COVID, Dr. Fauci, a medical professional, just trying to get across common sense. Wash your hands. For the love of God, cover your mouth if you cough or sneeze. If you don't feel good, stay home. It's common sense stuff. And it's like he's a pariah, right? Because nobody is using their brain. This is a problem. You already got, it's like they're the pariahs of society. Anybody with common damn sense. And these corporate jobs, a lot of them now are really playing into like this drone ideology where they just give you a script to say, and that's your job. You're not allowed to think critically. You're not allowed to use your own skills anymore. It's all about here's what I want you to say. Here's your word track. When you get a call, if somebody says this, you say this. If somebody says that, you say this. Like, that's it. They're not giving people the space to think or to grow or to develop. And it's because they know we can't.
Some of us. Some of us
Some of
can.
us,
Yeah.
our parents pushed us academically.
Mhm.
They did. They pushed us academically. One of our mother's favorite things to do was take us to the bookstore.
Mhm. Whether we
You
wanted to
know,
or not.
whether we wanted to or not. Our father had us reading the paper and giving a report at dinner. Like they when teachers called, they answered the phone. They showed up at the school.
Mhm.
A lot of times also, we didn't want them. If we was acting up, our mom was standing in the back of the class.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
that's how we grew up.
She came to a couple of my classes like, Mom, what you doing here? There go Bruce's mama.
Sitting there, standing in the back of the class, like, go ahead and act up. Act up in this class. Let me catch you acting up. That's how it was. That's how it was. And I feel like nobody's doing that anymore. Do I blame a little bit of Gen X, a little millennial? Yes, us.
Because we took
It's us.
we might have taken gentle parenting a little too far.
Too far.
I think there needed to
Because
be a happy medium between boomer parenting and Gen X and
and-
millennial parenting. Like
yeah,
this is what I was talking about with the fear. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about beating your kids or anything physical because that
but
teaches kids.
kids don't have a concept of respect.
Mhm.
They have very few emotions that they understand. So, it's happy, sad, angry, scared. So that's for little kids, that's it. So when you don't know, I want my baby to respect me. Your baby's 4. They don't know what that means. And they don't understand such a complex emotion like respect. So yeah, it's going to lean into fear because that's really the closest emotion that they got. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of child psychologists that will be like, girl, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Maybe.
But I just remember being a kid.
Right.
And I'm just speaking from that place.
Look, basically, your kids could be good kids, but they need to be raised right. And I look at my friends' kids. They're
Mhm.
very respectful. And once again, this respect thing is sometimes overblown in this regard.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to have common respect for people
Yes.
by being kind. But this idea that you always got to respect your elders,
Nah, I don't
No.
I don't believe in that either. No.
you treat people with respect until you have to be disrespectful. But I'm not talking about like kids. Kids always have to be well-mannered, right? And
Mhm.
if they have a problem with an adult, they should go to their parents, and the parents should check the adult if the adult is in the
Yes.
wrong. Don't be like, oh, they're
Yeah.
older, just listen. No.
No.
Like kids have way more concept of right and wrong than we want to give them realize. They're emotionally evolving quicker in some regards than we did. And we need to
Mhm.
recognize that. At the
And
same
kids remember when you didn't stand up for them.
Yes,
They
they
remember
do.
that.
Yep.
They remember that.
So
Yeah.
I feel for these teachers because some of these parents are thinking that they know what they could teach their kids. And as somebody who went to school as a degree in secondary education, there is a whole process of educating people. It is not as simple as X and O's. It's
Yeah.
not. You are teaching kids how to critically think, how to problem solve. And there are ways in which we learn to teach these techniques to kids. If you're a parent and you didn't go to school to do these things, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. What would it look like if I walked into a fire department and said, hey, I know how to fight fires. I ain't never fought a fire in my entire life.
You ever see them cartoons where they do the hose and then they go flying all over the place with the hose? That's going to be you.
Right.
Because you don't know the proper way to stand or how to handle it. You're going to be flying on that. That hose going to go shooting off and everything going to burn to the ground.
And guess what? Not every fire it needs to be put out with water. Sometimes that makes the fire worse. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's absurd. So parents, think of that analogy. Think of how absurd it is if you don't have any training and education whatsoever to think, well, my kids should be learning this. You don't know what the hell your kids should be learning. Not truly. They need to read and write, but teachers are teaching that. They also need to learn other stuff like history and science because you never know what a kid might pick up on and then that be their career. They need to learn all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I feel bad for the teachers, but it's a really good article. Go check it out. Buzzfeed article, the 18 teachers sharing things all parents should know, and by the author.
Thank you, Johnny Bazil-Dutas.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.